Hi everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, so if you have not seen my last video, we're going to look at CFDs and Forex. You might be asking, why am I doing that when I say Forex is, or crypto's been the most lucrative. It has, but according to this data, it says otherwise in this in the MotiveWave here, what we got. So what I've done is I've gone through an entire list of different instruments of what have they done, their performance, and you can also not just do a back test here from a quick and dirty high level, but you can also do a forward test. So we're going to do both. We have different strategies here. So I've looked at a simple SMA cross strategy, and the periods are between March and June of this year. We also look at RSI. So let me just show you what we're looking at. So I did the same thing among all the strategies here for Bitcoin or crypto. And the same pair kept coming up with the highest returns in here, 25 bucks, 18 bucks. And the best strategy was this price zoom and another strategy called Twigs money flow. So I'm going to check out those strategies with the same asset classes. So this one, I believe right now is looking at, let me just see here. So this one's a little weird. Well, let me just show you some of what I do here. So you can see here in this instance, no matter what the strategy is, we're looking at USD, US top 30, SPX top 500, or SPY 5, or S&P 500 is another way of saying that. Euro against Norwegian, USD against Norwegian, and then USD against Mexico, and then GBP against USD. Those are the top performers for this particular strategy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at those two strategies I highlighted earlier. One called the RSI, and we'll check that one out. Simple RSI strategy, nothing complicated at all. You can see here we're going to do a type of back test or optimize, or a walk forward. We'll look at walk forwards in a little bit, see if everything holds based upon the back test of the last 3 months. So you can see I just use the default settings here. Here's where we're going to set the watch list that we're going to use. So I'm going to use Australian pairs, Canadian pairs, CFDs. Also, you got European pairs, British pound, and US dollar. And then in here we got the 3 months. We also can choose source data or minute data. Of course, this is with Oanda. I find that the bar data gives you much better returns. And it's daily data as well in the bar size. So we're starting with 100,000 over 3 months. What kind of returns can we expect from this? So in here, it's fairly fast because we're using daily data. Now, if I show you the net profit, now I don't really care about anything else but net profit, because that's basically what it comes down to, is what's our income going to be. So you can see here the US dollar against Norwegian will give you 18,800, followed by the USD top 30. Now, as I said before, what I can do is you can get breakdowns of when the trades would happen, the overall chart performance, so on and so forth, number of trades, execution, all that. So what I'm going to do now, what I can do is I'm going to look at the same thing but a forward test to see if, let's say, the USD over the next 3 months will hold. I think it's for the next month or two. And we'll be able to measure if the markets may tank based upon performance, because that's what they're talking about right now. So let me just go through that. And again, we're doing the RSI. Okay, same thing, but here we're doing a walk forward. And do a next. And we're just going to leave all this as a default. Again, we're going to do all the same watch list stuff, all the pairs that we want. And then euro. Now again, this is for investing purposes. Very important to understand that. This is not for active daily trading. This is if you had $100,000, where would you put that $100,000 for the next 3 months? What would give you the best return? Okay, that's what we're after here. It's not about trading, but this will affect how your outlook and where you should deploy your capital over the next, let's say, 3 months. But here it's using the data and doing a walk forward test. So if we look at this, you want to get the most bang for your buck. Focus on a good chunk of your cash on the Norwegian krone for the performance, as well as the USD, top US 30 and the Deutsche 30 as well. But you obviously, based upon what you're seeing here, that's what's going to give you the most profit. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it, but it also depends upon your strategy as well. So here we're going to do another same thing, but different strategy. Now this time we're going to use a simple, let's say, moving average cross. Okay, so you can see here 18,000 was the best return we're going to get from that investment, 100 grand on that. So we're going to do first a back test, see if the strategy will perform. Everything's the same except the strategy. Same time period, default of whatever parameters it comes up with. Leave it at that. Okay, so it's 3 months, 100,000 to start. So it's really fast. So again, remember this is for investment purposes only. So you can see here a little better with the Mexican peso, the Swedish as well. That's 6,000 USD top 30, and then here we have the Norwegian. Now, if I was to look at same thing, but to just do a walk forward, so it's an MA cross. Okay, we're doing a forward test now. Okay, so let's see if this holds where the Mexican peso gave us something like 21,000. So 10% return over 3 months. Okay, let's do that. All right, so this is quite interesting. Depending upon your strategy, where do you put your money? Okay, so we are doing a forward test. Yep. Okay, next, finish. So let's see if this holds. The Mexican and Swedish krone. And so here we go. So it's not as good as it was. And again, this is for May 2020. So we only got USD, and now the NASDAQ, the krone, the euro, Australian dollar, and so on and so forth. So in this case, it still says to put money into the top 30 US. So, oh, I'm sorry. We got to do the walk forward here. So there you go. So you still put money into the USD Mexican, USD in Danish now as well. Euro against the Japanese yen, and the euro against the US dollar. So it's obviously still a good chunk in the US Mexican peso. So if I was to look at the chart, let's see what it says here. So it has come off a little bit, but there was a nice sudden rise in March when the dollar. So if from what we're seeing here as a defensive trade, it looks like the USD Mexican peso was a very good defensive play there in March. So we'll leave that for now. And one test I wanted to show. Where here, the twigs, because that gave the best return for the Bitcoin in Japanese yen. And we'll also do the next best as well of twigs and price zoom. But I'll also do this other one called the center of gravity as well. These are out-of-box strategies, as I've hinted in the last video. So why don't we do the this one here called the price zoom. Or why don't we do, I think this one does better. The twigs, money flow. So right here, okay, so we'll do a back test of 3 months. But the idea here is not only to see what will give you the best performance, but a theme. I mean, you can generate themes here no matter what strategy you use. It's quite clear to me that if you have, for investment purposes, put cash into Scandinavia, be it Sweden, Norway, or Denmark, or Mexico as well, it looks like. So here, again, we are looking at net profit. Okay, that's our worst one. So here we have, again, US, Mexican, peso, Swedish krone, euro, and Norwegian krone. Because I just did this by accident. You would have had your worst loss if it was USD against the Norwegian. So based on that, still on top is the US, Mexico, and US, Sweden for maximum profit if it was the last 3 months using this one strategy. And that's been the highest so far that I've seen. Okay, let me just do the walk forward here. That was this one here. Back test. So now, as I said, we're doing the walk forward. So still, Mexico is number one. Don't ask me why. I've been tracking it up as far back as in January, and it quite surprised me that Mexico was still stronger 5-6 months later. And you can play those through a form of an ETF, but you got to know what your underlying is, or let alone you could just sit on futures contracts, the E-minis. So more default. So this is our walk forward again. Okay, so we want to walk forward. Okay, so not much exciting. Euro against Australia, NASDAQ against the USD. So it looks like it's shifted. Let me just see under optimize. But you can see here, it really depends on the strategy that you want to use. So it looks like if you optimize it, the USD, Mexico, and Swedish are still on top. But the walk forward says otherwise. Euro against Australia and NASDAQ against USD at 124 and 85. It's not very much. So let's do one more strategy here, and that would be the which one was it? The price zoom. Okay, so the price zoom will say something different. Price zone, I'm sorry. Back test. All right. CFD, and this factors in everything: gold, silver, oil, all the major indices throughout the world. If you are familiar with the oanda, CFDs, and forex pairs, I'm sure there's something forgotten here. Yeah. Okay, so let's go. So that's our back data, bar data. All right, finish her up. Okay, so let's see what we got here. You can see here the USD Mexican is not number one there. Oh, that's weird. So you would have made 264,000 with Brent crude. That's a tough one. I wouldn't believe that, and that is kind of out of whack as well. But here you would have made a ton of dough on this trade right here. One trade on June 25th. Okay. So, like I said, we're looking for themes. You can see the Scandinavian are still on top. Okay. USD Norwegian, USD Swedish, and then we got smaller ones like the pound against the euro, USD, and then Canadian against the franc. Okay. So why don't we try? Remember, this is a totally different strategy as well. This is the price zone, so it's going to have different performance because of how the strategy works. But we'll just check it out. Walk forward, choose strategy, next. So it's quite interesting to be able to go through this exercise, but as a investment moving forward, I would definitely be putting cash into anything really around Scandinavia. Mexican peso, I can't sit here and say a lot, but I could take a look at the performance of the Mexican. Well, I already did. It was in March that did well. So if the market's tanked, put your cash into USD Mexican peso. It looks like it does quite well as a safe haven from what I'm seeing when the markets did tank in March. So this is the price zone. Now, I'm sure other strategies will outperform other ones, but see, here's a treasury. That makes sense. The Mexican peso, that's the one I don't quite get. But once again, the walk forward, I already got to get into that. The walk forward right here. This doesn't make sense. Well, actually, I don't think you make this much with China USD, but with this strategy, was it a price zone? You would have made that much. It's possible if the market's on fire. USD Swedish again, and Australian Japanese yen. But that's an interesting one. I haven't seen that yet with the Chinese. You could have done well, a lot, like a big payday, if that's true. You got to be very careful about those kind of trades. So there you got it. I've got some other results here, but generally from what I'm seeing, in terms of the overall performance, USD Mexican peso questionable, but if you can find things in, these are the time periods type of strategy. But definitely, it looks like the depending on the strategy you want to use, or wherever you're going to place your capital, you definitely could put it into Scandinavian. Mexican pesos, somewhat questionable. But I think if the markets really tank and really crash, this is an interesting place to be as a safe haven. And yeah, the U.S. markets are still doing well, but they're talking about they're going to crash. So who knows where they're going to go? But thought I'd put that out there. And crypto, if you use this methodology, is not as better performing. But that's why I say it's better for investment versus trading. Active trading, probably not. For this, but for investment, buy and hold type of strategy, and just put it somewhere and forget about it for a month, 2 months. That's probably where you're going to get your best performance. Other than that, let me know what you think. We shall talk to you later. Thanks for watching.